Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the business cycle. So, what is the business cycle? Well, the business cycle is a cycle in which our economy, a free market, follows. It shows fluctuation or changes in the economy during a period of time. The business cycle contains a growth trend that is idealistic for the economy, but realistically, there are fluctuations. The business cycle is comprised of 4 points: expansion, peak, recession, and trough. A peak is caused by an expansion of the economy and it reaches its highest point before economic indicators, like unemployment, start to contract the economy and eventually leads to a trough or the lowest point of the business cycle. A business cycle is usually a period of 2 consecutive peaks. A recent example of the business cycle is the Great Recession of 2008. The time period of 2000 to 2007 had a strong economic growth, which was an expansion. There was low inflation and the unemployment rate was decreasing. Central banks showed success with targeting low inflation, but they were unstable with the credit and the financial markets. Ultimately, around this point is where the economy hit its peak. People thought back in 2004 the prices of houses were only going to increase, so they bought the houses with interest-only loans and only a little money down, which they couldn't afford, so that they could sell them in the future. Then the housing prices started to decline in 2006, which caught people off guard. They couldn't sell their house because they would lose money on it, so they started to foreclose, and this caused banks to realize this was a huge loss. Then in 2007, banks became afraid to lend each other money because they didn't want the toxic loans as a type of collateral. By 2008, employment had been significantly dropping, faster than in 2001. At this point, the period of the business cycle is the trough. The business cycle and the Great Recession of 2008 are very relevant because the free market follows the cycle. Even though we don't know exactly when a peak or trough will happen, an expansion and or contraction will tell us if we're in an economic downturn or upturn. This is necessary to know because when you look back at the past histories of recessions, you can see some examples of how we got out of that into better economic standing.